Can you describe what you actually do in Graal Classic? Probably most of you had to think about that for a second. That's because Graal is an inherently boring game. If you were to show Graal to one of your friends, chances are, they wouldn't keep playing it for long. It's honestly a mystery to me why any of us really play Graal Classic, but nevertheless, here's some shit to do when you're bored of this boring game. SPAR. Starting this list off real creatively, sparring is one of the only activities in Graal with an actual skill cap and strategy involved. It's something you can practice and work at all the time. Or maybe just suck like me for all eternity. And for some people, sparring is what Graal is all about. You know what's even cooler and harder than sparring though? Guild sparring. Guild sparring adds a whole other layer. Of strategy and communication, planning, and roles. If you can manage to organize a team of evenly skilled players, I'm sure it's great fun. The problem is, for that you actually need friends, so guild sparring is not for me.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Tower. Again, this one requires friends. Either that or you can stand around in Graal City looking like an asshole trying to recruit people. Towering is usually pretty boring though, as it usually has a lot more standing around in your assigned spot than actual action or combat strategy. But standing around is all I do anyways, so at least now I'm being productive with it. Crab chance. Do you like gambling? Graal has gambling. You could argue that crab chance actually takes skill, but honestly, who wins at crab chance consistently? It's not me, and it's probably not you either. If you want to throw away precious money, go ahead and try it. Just remember that no one's making profit off of this shit. Farm. Farming is likely the most productive and effective thing you can do in Graal. If you like doing the same thing repeatedly for hours on end, maybe farming is for you. Also therapy. That's probably for you too. Farming is something you can do while you watch Netflix or YouTube, but it's certainly not a fun thing to do. Archery. There's not much depth to archery, honestly. You shoot the arrow and hopefully hit the target accurately. It's fun enough to do while you message your friends, and you can win some neat prizes for getting high scores. Not much else to say about it. PK. I'm not gonna pretend I understand PKing at all. It's probably the most popular stat to boost on your profile, and is usually coupled with towering, as most PKers go there, I think. This is definitely not something I've gone too far into with my own experience, and honestly I have no idea where the ideal spots to do it are. I couldn't tell you why it's fun, if it is at all, and there's no obvious benefits to doing it. Maybe if you're really sadistic and love murdering people who are just trying to get around, you might like it. Loot. It's cool, I guess. Pretty repetitive and completely random, but pretty exciting too. Feels really good to get a rare loot and start a collection, and selling everything makes it completely profitable without being as mundane or patterned as farming. This is likely the most popular way to make money on Graal, and for good reason. Plus it always feels good to give to the homeless. For money. Catch bugs. In the same category as looting, bug catching is even less repetitive and even more frustrating. Unlike looting, bugs are not player specific, so every single person with the net is going to be chasing down the same bug, and seeing an extremely rare one and not being the guy who gets it feels fucking horrible. Especially since half the time you cover the bug with your net, you don't actually catch it. People like to swarm the swamp and People like to swarm the swamp to catch grasshoppers, but it's slow and inefficient. I recommend you just keep a net on you at all times and catch them as they come. Talk to people. Yeah, kind of a cop-out. But really, talking to people is one of the main attractions of Graal. So go ahead and make some friends, you fucking dork.